Assalamu alaikum. Welcome back to Hilaal Live. Thanks for joining us. It's Friday, and we let you know about things that you and your family can do to entertain yourselves as we, spiritually prepare for Ramadan, but at the same time, do venture and entertain our families with basically productions, markets, and that's what we do on a Friday. Now, Cape Town in South Africa has a melting pot of directors, of plays, of young people that are just making a difference in and around our beautiful country. And one such individual is the director of a play called Mercy. In studio, I'd like to welcome Zubayr Charles. Assalamu alaikum.
Walaikum salam. Shukran so much for having me.
My absolute pleasure. So, I can only imagine the thought process that goes into writing a production. But before I get there, what's your background? Born and bred Cape Townian. Tell us more.
Yes, so I'm born and bred Cape Townian. I was born in the Bo-Kaap, still
Nice.
living there.
Uh-huh.
I'm originally I'm a teacher. So that is my profession.
Okay.
I studied education for 4 years.
Okay.
And as time went along...
You look like you just finished high school. I'm sorry.
You think,
You're
wow,
still
that's a
young. You look
compliment.
so young, really. And how long ago was that?
I'm 29 now, so that
Wow.
was 7 years ago that I
Alhamdulillah.
started teaching.
Lovely.
Alhamdulillah. Yes, so yeah, and at the back of my head, I've always had a knack for writing, a flair, and I've always wanted to tell stories. And I completed my honors degree in language education, and thereafter started my master's in creative writing
Wow.
to officially get the background and the knowledge to get the writing going. So it's always been an idea, it's always been a dream.
Right.
But alhamdulillah, I'm finally in the position where I've just started. And many more productions and plays and stories to tell.
Inshallah. But where does this passion come from? From writing and expressing yourself? I mean, did you walk into a production years ago? Where does the spark come from?
The spark comes from my parents. I think being in Cape Town, I'm sure many of those of you watching, or even around South Africa, we just have the natural flair for storytelling, whether it's folk tales. My parents are great auditors.
Okay.
So I've always listened to the stories of their childhood. Bo-Kaap is so rich in various aspects in regards to, I've listened to, even though they lived during the apartheid era, there were so many happy memories of their childhood. So they would constantly relay that to me, and I would just listen and take it all in. And as I grew older, just various ideas would pop up into my head. Sadly, I suffered from insomnia for many years. So at night I would lay and I would just imagine and immerse myself in various worlds and picture, I think this would be a great story. Mercy being one of them.
Nice. Okay, we're going to get to that very shortly. But have you ventured into other productions along the years?
So originally, I taught at Group Seminary High School. It's a girls' school in town, and my first ever production was called The Battered Housewives Club.
Okay.
So that was a story based on gender-based violence told from 5 different women. It was, at the time, it was just an idea that sparked. Aside from productions, I've also been a published writer. So I write non-fiction essays, and I kind of merge the idea of articles as well as opinion pieces. So I like to interview people. I call it photo essays. I add some photos, go around, get to know people, tell their stories.
I've seen some of your interviews on YouTube. It's just coming to me now. I think you've published 1 or 2, right? I think on the internet somewhere.
Yes, Litnet. It's an online publication.
There we go.
So yeah.
Now it rings a bell. It's all coming together. Your playwriting method, do you take experience from your surroundings or scenarios from your surroundings, from pertinent issues, social issues in our communities? How does that thought pattern work?
In regards to writing, and we're stepping aside from directing, so the writing process is never linear. It's not, of course I have an end goal, but it's not, this is what I want to do and this is where I'm going. It evolves constantly, even whilst we currently are going to the Zabalaza festival. So the story is constantly evolving. So for me, originally in regards to Mercy, it was a story that I developed 12 years ago. I was in grade 11. And in my life orientation class, we learned about euthanasia. And then my mom used to work at the hospital, and I visited her one day, and I just looked at the day-to-day runnings of the ward, and weirdly enough, I thought, I wonder what would happen if a nurse was in a situation where they had to commit euthanasia, mercy killing. That's where the title comes from. And years later, coming back to your question, I visited my aunt and she spoke about a woman from the Bokap who lived around the corner from her that was forced into an old age home. And she said whenever people would visit her, she said, "Hulle het my weggegooi," meaning they've thrown me away. And that phrase just stuck with me for so long. So it was the idea of euthanasia, the "Hulle het my weggegooi" from this older woman who was forced into an old age home. They sold her house. And that's how Mercy started. So, yeah, writing, never linear. It's always a mixture and, of course, inspired by
We have
life.
such a colourful community.
Definitely.
You know, in Cape Town, no matter what side of Cape Town you come from, there's always stories to be told. Tell us about the play. You gave us the idea of what made you write the play and bring it to Baxter. But the play itself, talk us through some of the, without revealing too much.
So as I said, the play focuses, it's a mixture of, or a combination of 3 main themes. So it's dementia, family dispute, and mental health. So the play starts off with Antikashi van Momsen. She is an elderly woman suffering from dementia, and her children are in this very difficult position because they, you know, we are taught that we have to take care of the elderly.
For sure.
Our parents took care of us. However, it's been quite difficult for the children to look after them, to the mother. And they unfortunately decide to place the mom into the old age home, and she develops a strong bond with her night nurse called Mercy. And as the story unfolds, it's a bit of a mystery. Everything is not as it seems with Nurse Mercy.
Right.
And yeah, a bit of a twist in the end.
Nice.
Yeah.
It's so close to what we experience in our communities. You know,
Definitely,
these
yeah.
are the types of issues, challenges that our families go through, our mothers, our fathers go through on a constant basis. Research must have been quite interesting when trying to gather information for this production. Did you have to go through that?
As you said, it was more a lived experience because I'm from Bokap and we know that gentrification plagues our community. So people, unfortunately, sell their homes for various reasons. So that's where one of the ideas stemmed from, or the storyline was, what would happen if I was placed in that position where I would unfortunately have to put one of my parents in an old age home. And as I would look around the community, as I said, the auntie around the corner, I thought, you know, it's very easy for us to place judgment on another, but I wanted to delve in and kind of sift through what are the reasons or possible reasons that one could make that decision. So of course, not easy. As I said, we've taught to take care of our parents. So
it must have been various, you know, issues that led to that scenario. And that's what you were trying to explore.
Yeah, definitely.
Wow,
and we also,
it's fascinating.
Yeah.
You know, I've got so many questions.
Yeah.
We don't have all the time,
Of course.
unfortunately. What's next for Mr. Charles after this wonderful production?
After this wonderful production, I've got a few other ideas. So aside from playwriting, as I've stated, I'm a non-fiction essay writer, photo essay writer. I've also have an idea, almost done with my first novel, a collection of short stories, a collection of poetry. It gets a bit tough being a creative.
I hope you're going to bring it to Hilaal, right? We're going to.
Inshallah, I hope that you will
love to
invite me back.
you back, definitely. For those that want to embark on the same journey as yours as well, what advice do you have? Up and coming playwrights, or people that are not so up and coming as well?
I'd say stick to your dreams. I think it's very easy for one to be dismayed and discouraged that, you know, why do you want to be a writer? Why do you want to be a creative? And creative I use as an umbrella term.
Yeah.
For example, our team going to the Zabalaza Festival, we initially entered in 2022 for last year, 2023, and unfortunately we didn't make it through to the last round.
Okay.
But they said, you know, go
You learn from that.
Learn from it, do your own thing, go to independent theatre and come back. And here we are, much stronger.
It's easier to get from number 1 to 2 than being at number 1.
Yes,
right?
and it's important not to be stuck at number 1.
Of
because
course.
there are, I'll be honest, for those watching at
Complacency.
home, so many no's that I've received, but you have to be tenacious and you have to just push through.
I like that. I like that. When's the play happening?
So the play is already sold out, unfortunately, for those who want to
I thought I could
watch.
get a ticket there, man. No, I'm kidding.
Next time. Well, it is a competition that we, inshallah, we hope to win so that we can get a residency at the Baxter Theatre.
Inshallah.
So fingers crossed, keep us in your du'as and affirmations that
Lovely.
we get a longer run.
Ameen.
But the show is happening at the beginning of March, which is quite soon. So yeah, look out for us on social media, Zubayr Charles, and we hope to see you in September or later on.
Stunning. Your actors are from the area, from friends, family. How does it work?
From the area. So the two main actors are Jennifer Morris. She was one of my former students. She's presently studying at UCT, completing a humanities course in English and psychology. So she was somebody that I always looked at and I thought, this is such a natural born performer. And then Ibtisam Florence, she is a graduate of the Qaeda Academy. She plays Auntie Kashifa, so it's going to be quite interesting. She's 31 years old, playing a 70-year-old woman.
Nice.
So
that's acting.
So those are the two actors, and then we've got our supporting cast, which is Vuyokazi Bulo. She's currently studying education. Two graduates, Jethro Dylan Thomas. He is an honors graduate from Rhodes University, and then Sharfa Duplessis, who recently graduated from Stellenbosch University in drama.
Well done. So, you guys are just an inspiration. Keep flying that South African flag high and telling those wonderful stories in Cape Town as well. All the very best with the production.
Shukran so
and
much.
I hope you do get residency as well, inshallah. And may all your future efforts go from strength to strength,
so much.
Inshallah. And there we go. Zubayr Charles, director of the play Mercy that's happening at the Baxter at the Zabalaza Festival, inshallah. We now take a break for the waqt of Maghrib from Makkah. When we come back, it's Sports Desk with Feroz Sheikh in studio. You are still watching Hilaal Live.